Meghan Markle thought she was returning to a safe space, the same place where she had once spoken her truth, ignited a media storm, and turned the global narrative in her favor. That 2021 interview with Oprah wasn't just a conversation. It was a cultural moment that earned Meghan's sympathy, dominated headlines, and elevated her celebrity status to new heights. So, when she pitched a follow-up, convinced that Oprah would gladly hand her the microphone again, she expected an easy yes. Instead, she was met with a firm no, and not from just anyone, but from Oprah herself. That single rejection sent shockwaves through Meghan's carefully crafted media strategy. Behind closed doors, this was supposed to be her big comeback, a primetime sit-down to help repair the damage from 2 difficult years marked by PR missteps, failed ventures, and a public slowly losing interest. But Oprah's refusal wasn't about scheduling conflicts or poor timing. It was a clear, deliberate step back, a signal that even Meghan's most trusted media allies were no longer willing to risk their credibility for her brand. The consequences were harsh. When someone like Oprah steps away, people take notice. She isn't just a talk show host. She's a gatekeeper, a validator, the kind of figure whose support can unlock opportunities that would otherwise stay firmly shut. Now, that door is closed, leaving Meghan standing on the outside, questioning where it all went wrong. What makes it even more painful is Oprah's history. She built her empire on empathy, redemption, and second chances. She's never shied away from controversial stories. She's built a career out of them. But with Meghan, the calculation had changed. Oprah wasn't just walking away from another headline-grabbing interview. She was walking away from the risk. The backlash from their first sit-down had been fierce. Millions watched, and millions judged. While the interview brought Meghan worldwide attention, it also sparked fact checks, criticism, and claims that parts of her story didn't hold up. So Oprah did what anyone with a decades-long reputation to protect would do. She weighed the optics, calculated the risks, and said no. That no struck Meghan deeply. According to insiders, she wasn't merely disappointed. She was furious. She saw it as a betrayal, not just by Oprah, but by the very system that once treated her like royalty, even after she had given up the title. In Hollywood, perception is everything. Meghan's presence used to be magnetic. Her name on a guest list guaranteed cameras, her face on a magazine cover guaranteed sales. But now, the numbers tell a different story. Projects are stalling, deals are disappearing, and audiences aren't showing up the way they used to. In this business, once the excitement fades, the retreat is fast. As one insider put it bluntly, the novelty has worn off. Meghan's entire post-royal brand has centered on controlling the narrative, telling her story her way, with polished production and perfectly timed releases. But when your most powerful platform, Oprah, decides not to hand you the mic, that control begins to slip. And once your name carries the label of risky, publicists, producers, and even stylists start to reconsider their connections. No one wants to be tied to a falling star, especially if it could harm their own reputation. The cracks didn't begin with Oprah's refusal. They had been forming quietly for a while. At first, everything Meghan touched made headlines. The Spotify deal, the Netflix docuseries, the high-profile public appearances. But hype is fragile. And in entertainment, when the buzz fades, the real question becomes, what's actually working? Spotify was meant to be a long-term win, a multi-million-dollar deal designed to showcase Meghan's voice. But after just a handful of episodes, production delays, lukewarm reviews, and inconsistent content caused the partnership to fizzle. Spotify walked away, sending a clear signal. If audiences aren't engaged, platforms move on. Netflix followed a similar pattern. The docuseries drew viewers, but relied too heavily on past grievances, repeatedly rehashing the royal split without offering much new. Viewers began to feel they'd heard it all before, a dangerous position for someone trying to build a forward-focused brand. The novelty of a royal breaking away only lasts so long if the story doesn't evolve. The deeper problem? Meghan still clings to her original strategy, believing that with the right platform, lighting, and interviewer, she can control the conversation. But audiences remember the inconsistencies, the unanswered questions, and the contradictions from past interviews. Any new sit-down wouldn't be a fresh start. It would be reigniting an old fire. Oprah wasn't willing to get burned twice. Behind the scenes, Meghan's team has been scrambling, pitching new ideas, documentaries, series, even branded products to keep her brand alive. But Hollywood isn't buying the way it once did. Executives are cautious, focus groups are unenthusiastic, and there's a growing belief that Meghan's brand peaked too soon and burned out too quickly. Even PR professionals who once vied to work with her are quietly backing away. One top agent reportedly declined a lucrative opportunity, citing too much baggage. In an industry built on clean narratives and easy promotion, that's fatal. When your story becomes too messy to sell, people simply stop selling it. The problem isn't just the controversy, it's exhaustion. Meghan has told her story so many times across so many platforms that even her most loyal supporters are starting to tune out. The once urgent themes of racism, betrayal, and isolation now feel recycled. Without fresh material, she appears stuck in the past, unable or unwilling to pivot. In show business, survival demands reinvention. Stars stay relevant by sensing when the public mood shifts and adapting. Meghan hasn't. She's still fighting the same battles with the same tactics, on a battlefield that's already moved on. And without Oprah to shape her message, no one is left to make it feel new or compelling. Her biggest threat isn't fading fame, it's losing control. Without a trusted stage, her story now belongs to the internet, the tabloids, and her critics. In the royal world, power comes from titles. In Hollywood, it comes from attention. And hers is slipping fast. Hollywood doesn't declare you finished. It simply stops calling. That's where Meghan is now. The quiet fade out, the unreturned calls, the let's circle back meetings that never happen. For someone who once commanded the media machine, the silence is deafening, and she knows exactly what it means. Influential circles that once welcomed her now see her as a liability. Oprah's distance wasn't an isolated move. It was a signal. If she's stepping back, others will follow. Gayle King, Ellen DeGeneres, Trevor Noah, names that once seemed like allies, are now keeping their distance, subtly but deliberately. The ripple effect is undeniable. Upcoming media appearances have been postponed indefinitely, polite industry code for too risky. Even charities, usually a safe haven for public figures, are rethinking. One insider admitted they didn't want Meghan's presence overshadowing their campaign. Inside her inner circle, frustration is building. There are whispers she feels abandoned, betrayed, even punished for speaking her truth. But the real problem isn't what she's said, it's how often she's repeated it. In fame, the longer you stay in the spotlight without evolving, the faster audiences turn away. Now, with few trusted platforms left, she risks the ultimate downgrade. Smaller outlets, less control over the narrative, tougher interviews, and media unwilling to shield her brand. Once exclusivity is gone, so is the magic. The story stops feeling like a cultural moment and starts feeling like a PR grind. For a while, she successfully recast herself as a symbol of independence and defiance, a disruptor challenging the establishment. But disruptors are expected to deliver. After years of headlines and mixed results, people are asking, what has she actually built? The cracks aren't just in the press, they're in the public's perception. There's fatigue now, a quiet eye roll when her name comes up. That's the real danger. Not outrage, but indifference. Meghan's fall isn't from irrelevance, it's from overexposure. Without Oprah's protection, she's wide open to every critic. Every attempted comeback will be met with skepticism. She's no longer the misunderstood outsider. She's becoming the industry's cautionary tale about overplaying your hand. Her next chapter isn't about redemption, it's about survival. Can she adapt? Can she pivot? Can she offer something new? If not, the machine will simply move on. And that may be the most brutal twist of all.